Welcome to the Gallantry Room, where every caregiver is a true hero in their own extraordinary story. Here we illuminate the remarkable narratives of compassion, resilience, and selflessness. Join our vibrant community as we share narratives that not only inspire and educate, but also celebrate your strength and dedication. Welcome to the Gallantry Room, where we inspire, we uplift, and we educate caregivers. My name is Latia Parker. I am your host, and today I just want to discuss and talk about the R word. And you're probably like, what is the R word? And we're going to talk about resentment. Some of you may be feeling, why I gotta do this? They should have did that. They should have took better care of themselves. They should have listened to the doctors. Why didn't they let us know sooner? Why we got to deal with this? And why I have to do this? And many of you may be feeling, having this feeling of resentment towards your loved one, towards your family. But we know that resentment stems from something, right? And it can stem from various sources. And so one of the sources that it can stem from would be like an overwhelming feeling, being overwhelmed with responsibilities. Of course, being a caregiver is not easy. For many of you, it's not a familiar thing. It's not a familiar job, and you're really trying to learn how to be a caregiver. So one of the things that can cause resentment is, overwhelming responsibilities. You're trying to do everything on your own. It's just like taking care of a newborn baby, but as an adult. And with the, of course, a newborn baby comes with a lot of responsibility. You're new at it. You're trying to figure out their needs, their wants, what you need to feed them, all of that. But now it's an adult, which there are more responsibilities with caring for an adult. And that can, make you feel the resentment, being burdened down with a lot of tasks. And then one of the things that we need to do and understand that when we do have these responsibilities, of course, we have to learn new things. It goes from, them being able to do things on their own to now you're there to help them. And then you have your own life, your own responsibilities, your own tasks that you have to do every day. And so now that you have to add on to that, it can cause a lot of resentment. Like, why am I doing this? Why is it me? And especially for those that are caring for a loved one that's never been there. So for instance, for example, a father that's never been there, but then you felt it in your heart to take care of them, to help. Or say, for instance, it's, a friend, they're going through something and they don't even have any friends, they don't have any relatives. And so you take it upon yourself to go and take care of them. So of course, you're going to have all these different responsibilities, new tasks on top of what you're dealing with in your own life. Another, source would be a lack of support. That not having the support that you need, having the support from friends, not having support from family members, not having the support from the healthcare system, that can cause resentment. Why am I the only one doing this? Why they're not taking care of this person, the recipient? Why the healthcare system is not doing what they need to do to take care of them? Why they're not supporting me in this? Why am I the only one doing this? Like, I didn't ask for this. And these are some of the things that could be going on in your mind, and you start feeling overwhelmed. But that's another source that can cause resentment. Another source that may cause resentment is unmet expectations. Now, being a caregiver, you're new to it. You don't even know what to expect, but in your mind, you may be thinking, oh, this is something that I can do. I'm expecting this to be a little easy. It's not as hard as it seems. I see this person doing it. They're doing it pretty easily. I'm watching this person do it. I'm watching, the hospitals, the nurses there, the physicians, whoever, they're caregivers as well. So in your mind, you're saying, okay, this can't be as hard as they make it seem. But then when you're actually in it, everybody's story is different. I'm caring for someone that had surgery. That's different from someone that has an illness, a disease that can, cause death later on down the line. You may be somebody over here that they have dementia. That's totally different from dealing with somebody that had a surgery. So you comparing yourself and comparing your situation to other situations that you see with your eyes, you're expecting your situation to be similar or easy. And then you find out, wait a minute, this ain't easy as I thought it would be. So you can start feeling resentment from that. Why did I decide to do this? Why didn't I put them in a home? I mean, and one of the things I want you to understand is that a lot of times when you're feeling these things, just know that you're human. And I feel like it's okay to have certain feelings. It's okay to feel this way. It's okay to feel, as long as you don't act on it and you start just leaving them by themselves or doing just crazy things, right? But it's okay to feel. It's okay to wonder why this is not happening. It's okay to feel. You're human. You're going to feel certain things. Why? Because it's new to you. It's not something that you trained for. It's not something that you prepared for. It's not something that somebody warned you about. So, you're human. Take it one day at a time and try to get all of the resources, educate yourself and all that. But we're going to go into all that. Another source that can cause resentment is sacrificing, losing. You will sacrifice a lot when it comes to taking care of a loved one, when it comes to taking care of being a caregiver in general. It's going to take a lot of sacrificing. You have to sacrifice your time. You have to sacrifice your money. You have to sacrifice your emotions. I mean, and the list goes on. You will have to make several sacrifices when you're taking care of a loved one. For example, say, for instance, you're taking care of a loved one and let's say, okay, we go into finances. So you were saving up for a house. Let's just say that. You're saving up for a house and now you have to take care of this loved one who's out of a job. And now you have to sacrifice your finances to pay their medical bills. And now you're feeling resentment because you're pulling away from your savings. You're pulling away from the house. And now you have to put that to the side because you're taking care, you're helping them financially. And again, like I said, it's okay to have these feelings. You may be saying, okay, why I got to pay for medical bills? This is not what I signed up for. I was saving this for a house. Now I'm giving it to you. And I'm like, what's going on? But, you will be blessed. Trust me, you will be blessed. And then the last one would be emotional strain. This one, it can be hard because it could be a strain on you. It could be a strain on them. And you're not knowing what they're feeling and they don't know what you're feeling. You're feeling like you're going through all of these emotions to figure out, Are you doing the right thing by them? You may feel guilty. You may feel like you're not doing the right thing. You may get frustrated because things are not going the way that you want it to go. You may feel angry. And all of these, I mean, and there's a lot more to add to that. But what I am going to say is that it's okay to, have these feelings. It's okay to feel the way that you feel. You're human. I mean, that's just what it is. Like, God created us to have feelings, so we're going to have feelings. I mean, he created us with feelings, let me say that. So you're going to feel certain, they just don't act on it. And then and we're going to go into that, trying to make sure that, you get the help that you need. I'm trying to resolve it. So let's talk about the signs of resentment, because some of you may not even know what are some of the signs. Irritability and frustration. That's the first one. If you get irritated so easily and frustrated so easily, that's a sign of resentment. Okay? And then sometimes when you're feeling frustrated, when you're irritated so easily, when you get irritated so easily, you handle your loved one the wrong way. Instead of you having grace and pulling them up and putting them in the chair or putting them in the bed, you grab them aggressively and you just throw them. I'm just thinking of some things like you don't treat them the way you should when you're irritated. I mean, I can think of times where, and I won't say to my dad, but like your kids, you take care of your kids, they get on your nerves, they're irritating you. What you ready to do? You start talking to them aggressively because you're irritated. It's the same way with a loved one. You're irritated, you're frustrated. You take a break, take some time to yourself, do what you need to do. And then come back to it later because you don't want to hurt your loved one. Another one is withdrawal, pulling away from them, pulling away from, the recipient or your loved one. And avoiding them. So you know that at a certain time, or I would say this, like, your loved one, because I remember like my dad, and I never got frustrated with him. I always make sure that I had the right attitude, that I had the right mindset when it came down to him because of who he was. He was my dad. Number two, he was a minister in the church. So I have to be very careful. And I knew my position in this journey. But there were a lot of times where my father, I gave him a bell. And anytime he needed, sometimes I will go downstairs in the living room and I will work. And there were a lot of times where he would ring the bell when he needed something. And I will go up and down the steps every time he rang the bell. Now, for some people, that would irritate them. And that will cause you to ignore. That will cause you to, like, I'm done. I'm leaving them for a couple hours. Just anything that's not cool, right? Because you're feeling this resentment towards them. It causes you to withdraw. It causes you not to deal with them in the proper manner. So just be careful with that. Make sure that you're level-headed. Make sure that you're in the right place. Make sure that you get yourself together while you're dealing with your loved one. Another one could be negative thoughts. Constantly having negative thoughts can impact the way that you care for your loved one. And I think that when you allow negative thoughts to enter into your mind, it can change your disposition. It can change how you feel, your emotions. And it will then cause you to get frustrated. It will cause you to worry, angry, irritated, agitated, all of that. So I think that, we have to be cautious. And it's not easy. It's not an easy journey, let me say that, when you're a caregiver. Caregiving It's not something that, for me, I would be like, okay, I'll do it. Like, yay. No, it's not that. It's not easy. So, just taking one day at a time. Another symptom would be physical symptoms. So sometimes you get frustrated while you're frustrated, while you're irritated. You start noticing that you're getting headaches. You start noticing that you have pains, you're stressed. You start noticing that you don't want to eat. And so that's another, symptom. So just be careful, just watch out for these symptoms, because you don't want to cause or overwhelm yourself to the point where you're no longer healthy enough to take care of your loved one. You're no longer stable, mentally stable, emotionally. It's kind of like the same thing to me, but mentally, if you're not there mentally, then you're not good for anybody. So, just look out for these, different, symptoms, and kind of just like check yourself. So let's talk about how do we address resentment? How do we do that? I think one of the things is, like, you have to make sure that you take care of yourself. You have to prioritize self-care, physically and emotionally. You have to, prioritize that. Make sure that of course, it's kind of hard when you try to put yourself first, but you have to make sure that you put yourself first. Kind of. Not saying that, I'm going to leave them by themselves or disregard them just to take care of myself, but you need to put yourself on the list. I need to rest because some of you are not resting. I need to eat because some of you are not eating. I need to meditate because my mind is unstable. I need to, whatever the case may be, even if you need to walk around the park, breathe in fresh air, take some time for yourself, because if you're not, then you're not good for your loved one. You're not good at all. Communication is key. Communicate. If your loved one can understand what you're saying, communicate that with them. Communicate with your family members. Communicate with healthcare providers. Let them know what you're feeling. There are many resources out there that's for you. Therapists, support groups, whatever the case may be. Make sure that you're communicating how you feel. Make sure you're communicating, things that you're going through in your mind. Make sure that you let it out. Make sure that you're transparent. Make sure that, you're not holding back. So many of us, we hold back our true feelings. We hold back so much. And I don't think it's healthy for you to do that. You need an outlet. You need an outlet. When you're caring for someone, you need an outlet, whether it's your mom, your dad, sibling, spouse, friend, writing it on a book, in a journal, whatever the case may be, you need an outlet. So I think it's very important for you to communicate. Let these things out. Let people know. If you need to go see a therapist, do that so that you can stay healthy enough to take care of your loved one. Another will be setting boundaries. You have to set certain boundaries so that you don't burn yourself out. If you can do things between these hours, then stick to it. I'm not able to go across town to the store because it's your favorite sandwich. Not at the moment. You gonna eat what's around the corner at KFC or whatever the case may be. Set boundaries. And I'm not saying you shouldn't go the extra mile for your loved one, but don't do something that's going to cause, don't do it if it's going to cause you to, again, resent, frustrated, irritated, all the above, because you're already taking on a lot. Now, for some of you, you're able to do that. For me, I was able to do that. My dad needed something. I lived about 20, 30 minutes away from him. I got in my car and I went all the way. I remember he called me because he wanted a smoothie. He wanted me to make him a smoothie, not nobody else. He wanted me to make him a smoothie. I was home 20, 25 minutes away from him, 30, whatever. I got in my car and I went all the way out to my dad's house to make him a smoothie. I was able to do that. I wasn't irritated. I wasn't frustrated. Do things if you can do it. Don't overwhelm yourself because you don't know how long this journey will last. Don't overwhelm yourself. If it's not necessary, don't do it. Because there are some people, to be honest, they will try to take advantage. And don't do it. And then seek professional help. Seek professional help. If you need it, they are there. They are available. And they're here for you. They're here to assist you. They're here to listen. They're here to help you. They're here to provide resources. So just make sure, you're doing what you need to do. Just seek the help that you need. And just remember that addressing resentment is a vital and important step towards, the positive aspect of caregiving. It will provide you a positive experience. It's already tough and it's already a lot. It can be overwhelming. But when you stop things in the bud, when you nip it in the bud, when you acknowledge it, when you try to fix it, it will provide you with an experience that later you will say, that wasn't too bad. It will give you an experience where you wouldn't be resentful. It will give you an experience where you're not regretting. It will give you an experience where you're not wishing that you've never stepped in. It would allow you to feel like I'm excited. It was a privilege to take care of them. So know that you being a caregiver, it's a selfless act. And just know that you will be blessed for it. Thank you for tuning in the Gallantry Room. Please like, comment, and share, and hit the notification button so you'll know the next time I'll be sharing. See you soon.